Hoy ahoy crew. Let's go over Old Glast Heim challenge mode. This is a new instance that is coming to NovaRO soon. It has been officially announced. We don't know exactly when, but probably in the next month or so, I would assume. So I'm going to go over a guide on the KRO or a KRO based wiki so we can get a idea of what the new instance is about before it actually comes out. So I think first to pique interest, we should go over the main part of this new instance, which is the temporal circlets. These are headgears, upper headgears. They're similar to Bio 5 headgears, but they give different skills, is pretty much it. Like Rune Knight gives Dragon Breath damage, Guillotine Cross gives like Rolling Cutter and Counter Slash, Genetic gives Cart Tornado, the best skill. And I think there's a lot of them that are, some affect meta builds, some affect more niche or like non-meta builds, but I think it'll make some builds more viable to actually use to clear content. Maybe not always the best to clear content, but actually playable. Especially because Soul Reaper, Star Emperor, Rebellion, Obro, Kegro, Super Novice, and Doram, or Summoner, they also get hats. So the expanded actually get some love. So they'll have most likely new best in slot headgear, and then various other classes, depending on the builds, will have new headgears as well. There is also weapons that come along with this instance, but I don't think any of them really replace anything we have now. I think they're more mid-gamey stuff, or specifically for against undead enemies. They just don't give as much as like safety weapons or Edda Biolab weapons do. So now that we know the main appeal... Oh, also, the Temporal Circlets can get the Bio 5 enchants, like Acute, Master Archer, all that stuff. They also have new Temporal Jewel. These are like... they're really good enchants. The Strength one, for instance, gives 7 attack for every 2 refines of the headgear, 7 hit, and 3% attack for every 5 refines. So these all are really good. If we look at like the Dex one, it gives bow damage, hit, attack percent. I think the Luck one gives crit and crit damage and attack percent. So they're not even the best in slot, or like the special enchants. The jewels are also really strong on their own. But let's go all the way back to the top of this page, and we'll look at some of the instance stats? No, instance things. I don't know. You need base level 170 or higher to enter. Your party has to be 1 or more, so it's basic instance. You start it in Glast Heim. It has a 3-day cooldown. And the rewards scale with the difficulty level. An interesting part of this instance is it's not just like Old Glast Heim hard, Old Glast Heim normal. It's when you go in, you select level 1, 2, 3, all the way to 10. And depending on which one you choose, it's more difficult, and the higher levels get more rewards. There's also additional mechanics that come along with higher levels. I think this is a really cool and good instance. It will provide an actual end game challenge. It's content that we really need. So there's 10 levels. You start at level 1, and you have to clear it so many times until you can do the next level. So you can't do level 2 till you defeat the instance 5 times. which I think this might be lowered on NovaRO, because I think the current system, I feel like it definitely promotes, like, make 30 characters and continue running it. I think Nova generally stray away from that, or at least try to make it so you don't need to, or like the meta isn't make 5,000 characters. It just unfortunately turns out like that sometimes. But you need so many clears to do the next level, and the next level, and the next level. To do level 10, you have to clear it 100 times, which is a lot, but it'll take time to get there, especially with a 3-day cooldown. I think this should be lowered a bit to be more friendly to people that aren't super grindy and just want to do like one character, maybe two if they have time every 3 days. And the HP of the MVP, which is Phantom Amdarius, or Amdarius? No, I'm just going to keep saying Amdarius. It's easier. Level 1 has 600 million HP, which is really big. It's like half of a Monster Hunter 2 boss. And then every level above that, it gains 150 million HP. So level 10, it's 1.9 billion HP, which is massive. There's also a lot of other mechanics and skills we'll go over later. The higher the difficulty, the higher damage. So level 1 does ×1 damage, level 10 does ×10 damage. So monsters do more damage the higher level. It scales the boss's HP, and there's higher level or certain level thresholds like 3, 9, and 10 will have new skill / mechanics that appear during the boss fight. And you get higher rewards for higher levels. This is the map. It's the second floor of Old Glast Heim. So when you start the instance, you speak with Oscar. You talk to him, and your party is randomly split into two sides, left and right. And you have to clear both sides, kill all the monsters. There's 50 monsters on both sides, but you only need to clear 46. And if you clear one side and the other side is not done, there will be a portal so you can still go over and help finish the other side. But I think you have to finish the area before you can leave to go to the other side. Not 100% sure on that. We'll find out eventually. If you're fighting at a higher difficulty, there's a chance Oscar will announce a message, which is in Korean here. I cannot read it. But a prime root of corruption spawns in the center corridor, which I think means like in this center area in between the two sides. And it has to die within 30 seconds. If it does not, it kills everybody on screen in a 15 by 15 area of effect around it. And the amount that spawn is based on the difficulty level. So 2 or more can spawn on level 4, while up to 5 can spawn at level 10. Recommendations in the instance, which are a nice little thing here. Golden X potion for reflect or like max pain. Fireproof potion. There is fire damage. I believe there's also earth damage. Golden syrups. You'll need a bunch of them. Panacea or royal jelly for curing status effects. Shining defense scroll. And a Bathery or evil druid. I think evil druid is not good because you likely will need to be resurrected. So Bathery is, I'd say, better there. The new monsters, Mutated Raedric, Mutated Kalisberg, Mutated Thorn, Mutated Raedric Archer, Mutated Zombies and Ghouls, all with mostly new sprites. I mean, they copy-pasted the base sprites, but kind of edited them. But they look good, and they look fresh, and not just a straight recolor. Especially the Mutated White Knight, I think looks pretty cool. It's like the White Knight turning into an Abysmal Knight. Prime Root of Corruption. the Potato grew an eyeball, Himmelmez, and Phantom Amdarius. So now we'll go over the mechanics and skills of the Amdarius fight. So there is a 5 to 10% chance when you start the fight that instead of Amdarius, Himmelmez will spawn. The mechanics all exactly the same. The only difference is you get the chance to get Himmelmez card. So there's like a low chance to get a low chance at getting a card, which is always good. Who doesn't love low chances to get low chance items? So the first mechanics, the most important ones to know first. Plant defense. If any party member is dead, Phantom Amdarius will only take 1 damage for all attacks. This goes away when all your party members are alive again. So if somebody dies, you need to get them back up, because otherwise you'll do no damage. Restart. If all party members are dead, Amdarius will despawn and Oscar appears again. You can summon Phantom Amdarius again by talking to Oscar, and this is in place to prevent Token of Siegfried abuse. Basically, one party member dies, no damage, you need to resurrect them. All party dies, the whole boss fight restarts, and you have to do it all again. Which is, I think, a cool mechanic, and definitely increases the difficulty, and like, you have to actually set up and try, and not just do the classic, like, oh no, someone's dead, resurrect. Oh, someone's dead, resurrect, and just, you know. You actually have to plan some stuff out. Now for the other skills, the damage skills. Firewall in an X pattern. He'll spawn firewalls in an incremental pattern that push you very far away. So basically they show up in a X pattern, and if you get caught in it, it'll get knocked all the way back. So I don't know if there's tells for these skills. If there is, when you see the firewall tell, or you are considering or like thinking about it, you need to sit on like the horizontal or vertical directions of Amdarius. Okay, if you attack him from diagonals, you might get hit by firewall and pushed all the way back. Ground drive 1, and there's 2. 1, he pushes out a Heaven's Drive in a plus pattern around him. Also the firewall can be avoided with Land Protector. So can these ground skills. So Amdarius will make a plus pattern around him of Earth Drive, basically, which does earth damage. And that's very simple. The second one is a incremental spread. I'll have an effect of this on screen, but it'll make Earth Drive around him, and then it'll spread out 1 cell and go 1 cell more, and go over and over and over. Immune property. This is another interesting new mechanic. For 30 seconds, the MVP will receive elemental immunity, physical and magical, to a specific element. The MVP always chooses Holy, all the time. You can use Dispel or Clearance to remove the effect. He'll have a symbol above his head, and that means he's switched to the Holy immunity. You need to switch to neutral damage, because he's still dark property. So he's not Holy property. He just gets Holy resistance. So you use Holy, he swaps to Holy immunity, you swap to neutral, or you have a Sorcerer that can Land Protector against the other skills, and then dispel him when he does this skill. I think Sorcerer is going to be a very needed class in these parties for their utility, especially because Land Protector is so powerful against this boss. Dispel is also really good. Next, Grand Cross in a grid pattern. When the MVP is below 90% HP, a grid of mutated thorn appear around the map. After 5 seconds, all surviving mutated thorn will hide and cast Dark Grand Cross for 10 seconds. Bathory card makes you immune during this, so it's recommended you use Bathory card here, or even at least have a swap to Bathory card. You can kill the mutated thorns so they don't cast Grand Cross, and it's best to stay in the middle of all 4 thorns to avoid getting hit. Grand Darkness is next, which the MVP just casts Dark Grand Cross around him. I think similar to like Old Glast Heim Hard Amdarius. I think it's the same thing. He just casts a lot of Dark Grand Cross everywhere. Again, Bathory card, really good. Reign of Meteor. He'll fire fire property meteors, magical damage, on the center of the MVP, and it spreads out in a X pattern similar to Firewall. And so it also can be avoided by Land Protector. Land Protector seems very good. And there is a counter to Land Protector, but there's also a counter to Land Protector, which we'll go over soon. So yeah, there's just an X pattern of meteors that do a bunch of damage, which is fire property. So 2 fire skills, 2 earth skills, 2 dark skills. So you already see the 3 elements you need to resist against. So like Fireproof Potion, Bathory card, and then some kind of earth resistance I think is good too. I think you can use earth and fire property or fireproof potions. I think earthproof might give or reduce your fire resistance though. That might not be good. But maybe in your garments you can use earth property, or maybe also neutral, because he'll likely do a lot of damage, which we'll look at the actual MVP after. Demonic Hell's Judgment. 1 second cast time appears with a 13 by 13 area of effect with the red tile on the floor. This does physical damage, defense piercing, dark property. Again, we find dark property. Bathory will prevent the damage. Inflicts a random status effect as well. Which is like curse, silence, whatever, all those things. The damage is either melee or ranged, depending on how close you are to the MVP. Which, the way mobs work is 1 to 4 cells is melee, and then 5 plus is ranged. It might be 4 plus is ranged, but I believe 1 to 4 is melee. Next, Ganbantine. Yeah, I think I got that right. Instantly removes all ground spells in a 9x9 area around the MVP. This is the counter to Land Protector. So you can't Land Protector the melee DPSs and the tank. They will have to survive the damage or get resurrected right away. So they have to be a bit more tanky, which if you're a melee class, you can generally be more tanky. It's easy to find slots because generally melee classes do quite a bit of damage, just like as a default. The way Land Protector will work, I haven't watched that many KRO videos. I think I saw it in 1 or 2 that did challenge last time. And basically your support and your range DPS sit on top of Land Protector, while the tank and the melee DPS die at the boss. But I don't know how often he casts Ganbantine or Ganbantine. Alright. Difficulty with words. If he doesn't cast it that often, you might be able to Land Protector the melee people and the tank. If he casts it quite often, or like whenever he's on Land Protector, you might not be able to then. So depending on how often that actually casts will depend where you can actually place the Land Protector to be the most effective. And then when he's below 70% HP, he'll spawn Mutated Kalitzberg, 50% and below, Mutated White Knight, 30% below mutated Raedric Archer. And these stack. So if he's below 30%, he'll spawn all three. Fairly sure that's how that works. So it's as long as he's below that check, then he'll spawn them. So he'll spawn more and more mobs as the fight goes on. Now, those are all the level 1 or higher. These next 4 are only at certain levels. So level 3 or higher, he will cast Max Pain. I hate this. So he'll turn a golden color, keeps track of all damage it receives after a certain amount of time. It'll reflect all the damage back to everybody on screen. It's best to stop attacking it or dispel it. And it's just Max Pain, classic. Rangers will get you killed. I think Max Pain will be annoying depending if there's like a cast time or a tell. If it's just an instant mechanic, getting party wiped by Max Pain and resetting the boss would be very annoying, to say the least. It would cause the maximum pain in everybody's soul, as the skill does. Next is Grim Reaper, which is a special mechanic, level 3 or higher. Reaper Yanku spawns as a NPC and slowly walks to the MVP. It gives the MVP powerful HP regeneration that stacks. And this will happen over time, over and over. So if you take too long to kill the MVP, it becomes impossible to outdamage his regeneration. So this is like a timer check. So you can't spend 5 hours DPSing the MVP. You have to do it in a certain amount of time, or else lose because he regenerates all the HP all the time. The next one is level 9 or higher only, which is Gradual Gravity. This casts a debuff on you, and it reduces your HP by a certain percentage of your max HP, and this will kill you. So it's like, it'll reduce like 4%, 4%, 4%, and it'll just keep reducing. The best way to counter this, apparently, is spam potions. I wonder if it can be dispelled or clearanced. If it can't be, I mean, spamming potions seems good. That's why you need a lot of golden syrups. And then the one at level 10, the skill is question mark. And it's written in Korean here. And I've already translated it. Basically what happens is every once in a while, I believe it's every once in a while, you have to lure Amdarius, or the MVP, to a specific area in like the map. And if you fail to lure, I think it's within 30 seconds. You have to lure him there in 30 seconds. And if you fail to do so, he gets like enraged, which it doesn't say anything more than just, or he goes into berserk. I'm assuming he's going to cast skills faster and do more damage and attack faster. That's what I would assume he does. So you don't want him to go berserk. It's bad. That's all you know. Don't let it happen. And that's it for the MVP's skills and mechanics itself. Let's quickly look at Amdarius. Also look at Himmelmez and Root Corruption. I don't think these ones are worth... We'll look at like one of them, just to see the around HP. White Knight has... Alright, so they're going to have 2 to 3 million HP on the basic mobs. Less than Legacy Glast Heim, which is cool. Root of Corruption, the new one, unknown health. No one's figured that out, I guess, or recorded it down for Divine Pride. So I don't know about that. Demon, Earth 3, 667 defense, which is pretty high. 98 magic defense, which is average. That one's not too bad. I think it's in line with Root of Corruption. It probably has like 30 to 100 million. Somewhere 30 to 100. Himmelmez, all question marks. Got it. I'm going to assume she is similar to Amdarius. Oh, Amdarius... Oh, wait, his HP isn't written here. Right. So Amdarius's Phantom is a Demon Dark 3 large monster. 446 defense, 82 magic defense. Magic defense, I think, is pretty good for being this kind of boss. Defense, a little bit high. Definitely higher than the magic defense. Pierce will be good and needed. Holy gets you 175% attack. Neutral, 100%. I think that's it for that. His HP we already went over. 600 to 1.9 billion. Now we can go over the reward structure. So based on the level you do, so after you defeat Amdarius, on KRO a treasure chest spawns, and when you click on it, all the items drop on the floor, and the reward scales with difficulty. I think on NovaRO, if they balance this better for our server, it'll give you rewards per person. Otherwise, I can see issues arising with one loot being shared with everybody. Like, I could see them reducing the rewards, but giving it to all people. Like, it's similar to Edda Biolabs, where you click on the chest, everyone gets a reward. I can see them lowering these, all the numbers, to give rewards to all players instead of being shared among all players. So there's 4 different loots that drop here. Sealed Temporal Circlet, Temporal Gemstone, Temporal Spell, and Temporal Fragment. Level 1 and 2 only give circlets and fragments. Gemstones don't appear till level 3, and Spell don't appear till level 5. Spell and Gemstone are the harder ones to obtain, and they're the ones you need to enchant things. So they're going to be pretty expensive. The circlets are actually relatively easy to get. Like, making a temporal circlet isn't actually that hard. It's enchanting it that's going to be difficult. There's also an item exchange, which is where you get all the stuff. So if you trade in 5 sealed temporal circlet, you get 1 temporal circlet headgear of your choice. I believe it's your choice because it doesn't specify, so I assume you choose whatever headgear. Maybe they'll make it random, who knows. 1 sealed temporal circlet can also be traded to a sealed conversion reward, which we look down here, and it gives you temporal spell, gemstone, and fragments, all at a low chance, but you can turn the circlet into other materials, and the low chance at gemstone and spell. Spell on KRO looks like a very low percent to transform it. I feel like they could be higher. Also, the fragment is really high to get. You'll often get that, I would assume. Even if they change it on NovaRO, I feel like we'll get fragment most of the time. You can also trade in 50 spell or 70 spell for mutated White Knight card and mutated Kalitzberg card. And these are White Knight cards and Kalitzberg Knight cards, but for magic damage, which is also another big appeal of this instance. Something we also really want. So like 20% size damage against medium and large is great. And this gives magic defense. It's the same as Kalitzberg Knight, but it combos with mutated White Knight to give extra resistance and damage. The Royal Guardian weapons will cost gemstones and fragments to obtain a random one, or spells to select one. If we scroll down, we already went over the weapons. I can show one weapon, I guess. The wand, sure. So, they give basic bonus. They give a bonus of +0, 5% fire. They have +4 attack or magic attack per refine rate. And they give 1 or 2 skills damage, 20% usually. And then undead or angel race damage by 20% at +11. That's it. The other bonuses are all if you're wearing King Schmidt's Mantu or King Schmidt's suit, you get some more bonuses. They're pretty lackluster. They're more made for mid-game stuff. But on NovaRO, since we don't have refined tickets and all that, I think these are going to be not very good, even as mid-game for a lot of cases. Because getting a +9 with these, it's very, it costs a lot on NovaRO compared to just using a refined ticket, which would make these more viable. So I don't know how viable these will really be. There's a lot better options already out there. I haven't looked. I think the most viable ones would probably be like the expanded weapons. Like, what's a Royal Foxtail? 350 magic attack, catnip, piggy peck. No, I think even still, it might only be good against undead and angel race, and maybe even not then. Temporal circlet, I already kind of talked about these. They give a bunch of bonuses to other, more non-meta builds, but some meta builds, like Mechanic gets arm cannon and knuckle boost. Rune Knight gets dragon breath, 15% per 3 refine rate, pretty good. They also give 5% after cast delay at +11, which I think is also really good. If we look at Rebellion, one of the expanded ones, there's Vanishing Buster and round trip damage. Oh, yeah, it's just 5 circlets and you get a selected headgear. Because it says the cost is 5 each. Otherwise, it would say pay 5, get a random one. So you do select them. Then there's the enchanting these circlets. The fourth enchant, you use fragments, which are the easier stone to get. You get a random stat, 1 to 4. Yeah, 1 to 4, which is int, strength, vit, or luck. So no dexterity or agility. The second enchant, you choose either fragment or gemstone to enchant. If you use gemstone, the rarer material, you only can get temporal jewels, which are the enchants you want. They're really good. If you use fragments, you have a chance at getting stats, which maybe if fragments are cheaper, they might be better to just gamble it. But if you can get gemstones, those are better to use, because increasing your chances of getting the enchant you want is what you want to do. Especially because there's 3 levels to each enchant. And then the third enchant, the final one, you need temporal spell. 2 of them on Caro. These rates will probably be changed maybe for NovaRO. But you get sharp, expert archer, attack speed, spell, or the Bio 5 enchants, unyielding, metal, affection, adamantine, master archer, magic essence, and acute. Note that resetting the enchants is the same as Bio 5. You reset the whole headgear. So if you get perfect temporal jewel, and if you get strength 4, strength level 3 jewel, and then you get attack speed 1, you just got to reset it. You got wrecked by RNG. And they're upgraded, the special enchants, the Bio 5 enchants, are upgraded the same way that Bio 5 are, but they require temporal spell. So level 1 to 2 is 4 temporal spell, and it goes up by 2 for every level, and 12, or no. It goes up by 2, 2, 2, 2, 4, 4, 4, or 4, 4, 8, and then 12. So it increases a lot at higher levels, expected. Getting to level 5 hopefully won't be too bad or too hard. I assume they're going to have the same rates as Bio 5 headgears. Every level upgrade attempt has a chance of failure. Yeah, they upgrade and downgrade the exact same way as Bio 5 hats. Same system. And you can reset your headgear by using 500,000 Zenny, 70% chance. If you fail, headgear breaks, or 2 Nyan fruit, which I'm 99% sure that's silver vine fruit on NovaRO, which you can actually get with gold coins. I found out that today. So that even if they keep it at silver vine fruit and don't customize it, it's still attainable. I have a feeling they might customize it to cost like gemstones or something. Because I feel like gemstones are a bit underused. Like you need 2 to get a random weapon and 2 for this enchant, and that's it. So like they could just say like, hey, 5 gemstones, reset. And it would give gemstones a better value, opposed to just being the enchant here. I mean, to be fair, they are a bit rarer to get too, so I can see them also not doing that. But that's it for the Old Glast Heim challenge mode instance. I don't think there's anything more than that to go over. I will leave the link to this page in the description if you want to take a look at it and find more info or share it with others. As always, if you enjoyed this video, if you like this video, subscribe to the channel, share it with friends, and I'll see you in the next video.